morning. I swear a lot.
It is 1:27 in the PM, and you're listening to The Foreman. I'm your host, Foreman, and I want to talk about something that I've kind of been, taking pot shots at and doing mini rants and little bitches about for the past, couple of months, I think, since I picked up Ultra Kill again for a bit. And did a massive rant about how AAA industry is really not fucking bringing the ball at the moment. And that is, funnily enough, I want to talk about the state of the AAA game development at the moment. Now, I've been active in the gaming scene, as it were, for years. Since gaming really came to the internet, as it were, and online journalism became a thing, and generally since gaming went from a more niche thing to a more public, well-known, profitable, widespread mainstream thing, which is not a bad thing for gaming in general, but I've been through that. I saw it when it was not a big thing, and I'm here now when it is a big thing. And therefore, I've seen the AAA industry evolve and adapt and mutate, as it were, over the years, and people have always had complaints. EA their name wasn't always Dirt, but it's been Dirt for quite a long time, and I've seen why. And, more recently it's been Activision Blizzard, and Activision Blizzard. But, I've seen what's happened. I've seen everyone, and in fact been a part of the complaints towards AAA for over a decade. And a lot of the time it can feel like this kind of apocalyptic doomsaying kind of situation where everyone just wants to hate on AAA because it's AAA. And I think maybe there is an element of that in there somewhere where it's just big money, big business, don't like. I mean, I'm certainly guilty of that. But unfortunately, a lot of it is also justified because AAA has gone through trends, a lot of trends over the year, and the current years even, and the current trends that we're seeing are trends that we could actually have picked up on 6 or 7 years ago, roughly? I don't know, I'm not good with my time frames, but point is, the way it is now is stuff we could have seen coming, and I kind of want to talk about what it's like now, because there are more than a few issues. But the reason I'm doing this is a strange one. You see, I follow a content creator called Bricky, and I like Bricky a lot. I think he's very funny. I think he's a smart guy. I like him. Kind of jealous of the fact that he has nearly 1 million subs and he's younger than me, but hey, guy deserves it, to be fair. He earns it. It's cool. He did a video on Modern Warfare 3 2023, because yes, that has come out, apparently. Apparently there was a remake for Modern Warfare 3 this year, and it came out just over a week ago. Cool, I guess. Not really something that bothers me, and indeed, it's probably not something any of my viewer base are interested in. And if this is causing you to consider clicking off the video, understandable, but let me just say that the only reason I'm talking about this game is because it will provide necessary context for the rest of the discussion. So I ask you, humbly, to bear with me as we discuss this, because it is important. I'd also encourage you to check out the video itself, because Bricky is very entertaining, so even if you don't like COD, it is still interesting and funny. But that's A, digression, and B, maybe something you should do after the video, because I need money, oh god. Yes, no, I watched Bricky dismantle, as it were, Modern Warfare 3 2023, as he claims that it is the worst COD campaign of all time. And some of you may be thinking, well, that's not a high bar, but we have to give COD as a series some credit, because some of its campaigns have actually been fantastic. For instance, I remember really enjoying Call of Duty World at War, which was back in 2008? When did World at War come out? 2008. Oh god, that was 15 years ago. Okay, alright. Just gonna try and, almost to the day as well. 15 years in a week. Alright, I'm just gonna try and recover from that one. Moving on. Okay, yep, that's fine. I remember really enjoying that one. It had really strong moments. As much as people were sick of hearing about Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 1, it must be said that they did have fantastic campaigns. I didn't play them, but I know they're good. I've seen enough to know that they were good. With missions and moments and set pieces that would go on to influence gaming as a whole for many, many, many years, probably still to this day. We have to give credit where it's due, even if we're not exactly fans of the series. And this is an important game to use as a case study. But he decided to dismantle the campaign, saying that it was the worst one of the series. Now, he has various complaints about gameplay and the story and stuff, and this is all well and good, but I'm not here to do a deep dive on his deep dive. If you want to know those details, you can go check out his video, it's fine. I'll put a link or something. Not that he needs my help in any way, shape, or form, but to provide you guys with some more context. No, the part that stuck out to me, the part I really want to talk about is the length of the campaign, okay? Because this is a AAA game in 2023. AAA dev studios are the biggest they've ever been. They've had the most money behind them that they've ever had. Biggest they've ever been. Massive. How long do you reckon Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023's campaign is? I will give you 5 seconds to come up with a number in your head. Okay? Time's up. How long is the campaign? Well, according to Bricky, a bit over 3 hours. Now, to provide some context here, Bricky has played COD throughout his entire life. He really likes the games, so he's probably reasonably good at them. He also plays video games in general, so he has a little more aptitude when it comes to playing games than perhaps a normal or casual gaming fan would have. So to provide a little more context and to make sure that I wasn't getting all of my details from one source and sort of giving myself tunnel vision, I decided to Google like Modern Warfare 3 2023 length and see if this is a bit more consistent. And the first result claims that the campaign should take you roughly 4 to 7 hours. Now I believe in many cases they are probably taking into consideration people who perhaps are a bit more casual in their enjoyment of their video games, or are just play a bit slower, or maybe people who have accessibility issues or like disabilities and stuff like that, and that's all very well and good. So first result, 4 to 7 hours. Another result, NME claims 3 to 6 hours. Radio Times claims 3 to 5 hours. How Long to Beat claims about 5 hours, which when you say about 5 hours, that makes me think either a little bit above or a little bit below. So I'm going to go ahead and say that on average, it takes about 4 hours to beat. I'm not really putting math into that, so if you're like, well, actually, Foreman, the average would be more like 4.37, I'm going to say shut up, because I don't care. And it's not enough of a difference to really warrant a correction in the grand scheme of things. Roughly 4 hours, okay? Now, we're not done talking about length, right? Much like your ex-girlfriend talking to you, we have a lot more to say about this. Games have cutscenes. I know I'm not blowing your mind with this fact, but it's true. Games have cutscenes. Those cutscenes also take time, as all things do in life. Now, we're going to have a discussion. We're going to make a quick reference to something that probably people don't tend to talk about unless they're talking about, like, Metal Gear Solid 4, and that is cutscene length within the story. How long do you reckon the player spends, maybe not necessarily in cutscenes, so out of those 4 hours, how long do you reckon you spend in control of a character? I'll give you another 5 seconds. Time's up. Amount of time you spend in control of a character actively playing the video game is 1 hour and 58 minutes. Now, your time with that may vary depending on your speed through the game. Bricky doesn't claim to be amazing at the game. He played it on normal, died once or twice. He didn't exactly go hunting for secrets or looking around or anything like that, but played it relatively normal. He wasn't trying to speedrun it. 1 hour and 58 minutes in control of a character. The rest was cutscenes or, I don't know, sequences where you're not doing anything personally, what have you, like first-person cutscenes or first-person interactions and stuff, whatever. Point is, under 2 hours of the 4-hour gameplay time, of the 4-hour runtime, is spent playing the game. Now, your overall runtime of the game would result in a different amount of time spent on the controls because, you know, it would depend how long it took you to beat the game, but that's still pretty abysmal. In a runtime, that is already abysmal. Someone in the comments for Bricky's video, in fact, made the joke, because Bricky's video is roughly 45 minutes long, someone made a joke saying that Bricky's video is almost half the gameplay time of the entire game of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023. Another comment, which I want to reference or speak verbatim, because I think it's important to mention, provides some interesting context referencing an article from Bloomberg. Now, I haven't looked into these articles, I haven't looked into the sources, maybe something's off, maybe something's not right, maybe something's not accurate. If you were to come out and say, Foreman, this is not actually how it went, I'd be like, fair enough, I did not do my research on this, so don't take everything I'm saying right now as the golden standard. I'm just repeating what I'm seeing. But this person says, for anyone wanting answers regarding what happened with this game, the Bloomberg article on it is a great place to start. If you want a TLDR, Activision forced this project onto Sledgehammer with only 16 months to make it, and forced a full story reboot with about a year or less of that dev time left. On top of the fact they originally pitched the entire project to Sledgehammer as a DLC, not a full game, what Activision did here is honestly probably worthy of a criminal investigation, the way they treated their own employees, in spite of mountains of promises that they wouldn't after the hell that was Vanguard's development. Vanguard did not have a very good reception either. So yeah, that sounds like Activision Blizzard, you know, that checks. That checks out. So you might be thinking, Foreman, length for this game. General content, like, this feels more like a DLC. Would it not be more fair to treat the game as a DLC, you know, to cut it some slack in that respect? Like, be reasonable? And I'm like, I would be more than happy to be reasonable. I would love to give the game the benefit of the doubt, but if you mosey on over to the Steam page for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023, and I'm getting really sick of saying that sequence of words, you will see that the game is 60 quid. So for you Americans, that'd be $70. $70 for a 4-hour game that you spend less than 2 hours playing, maybe even less if you're really good at it, like if you're a proper COD fan. I don't know about you, but I've spent less than 60 quid in 4 hours out with my friends at the pub and had a lot more fun. And created memories that I would treasure for much longer than a fucking COD campaign. Right? Fuck, man. Also, all reviews for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023 are mostly negative. 4,356 reviews, and most of them are negative. Yeah, seems about right. Now, there are allegedly many other problems with Modern Warfare 3 2023, although not bugs. I'll give them credit and say apparently the game's not buggy at all. But we're going to move on, because that quote from that commenter leads us ever so gracefully to the actual point of the video, which is AAA development. Now, earlier in this discussion, in this topic, in this video, I made reference to the devs, but I feel it very important to mention this, and if I don't, then people in the comments rightfully will mention this. It's worth mentioning that the devs are not to blame for this. The devs are not to blame for this. I have never, or very rarely, heard of a lazy game dev. They're just not really a thing that happens. They exist, sure. They're a lazy everything. Look at me, I'm a lazy content creator. But lazy game devs are not common. And I don't think it would be fair to say that the people at Sledgehammer, the people actually working on the game, were lazy or uncreative or incompetent or anything like that. I think that'd be wildly untrue. I don't think you get to be in such a high position in game development if you're shit, frankly. No. We all know why this sucks. We all know where this problem came from. It comes from the suits. It comes from middle management and upper management. It comes from the desire to produce a product that will make big money for little money and less time. Now, to be fair, right, I'll give the executives one, free pass here. 16 months is not great in terms of development time, but it's also not as short as a lot of other games are getting nowadays, a lot of AAA games are getting nowadays. It's still not good enough, but it is more than a lot get. But Call of Duty is a great example to use here because, they basically churn one of these out almost every year, and I don't know how the fuck the devs handle it. I have no idea how the fuck they handle churning out a COD game every fucking year. And people have noticed this. And the overall consensus amongst the gaming public at the moment, or at least in some circles, is to every dev, not just, Activision Blizzard and the people they use to make COD games, but almost every dev now, or publisher, is slow down. Just take some time. Don't rush it out. Don't immediately tease us with shit and act like the game's coming soon and then pressure yourself into making the game come out soon. Take some time. Make sure the game is good, then release it. That's what we want. Of course, the execs don't give a flying fuck. They've never interacted with their customers or the communities behind their games or anything like that in their life. They don't see people, they see numbers, they see charts. Make game for small money and time, put out for big money. It's much like how, I don't know if films still do this because I don't really watch movies much nowadays, but it's like what movies, at least I think, did do around like the mid-2010s, probably still do it nowadays, but they'd make like some schlocky fucking fun for all the family film that sucked, put it out on, just put it into cinemas, and then on opening weekend, people would take their kids there to go watch it because, hey, it's something to do, and get their kids to shut up for about 2 hours and make all their money back. But the movie sucked, but it doesn't matter because it made its money. So the movie was a success. Nice one, guys. We'll do it again next year. Sweet. And gaming definitely has gotten that too. When you see things like review embargoes, for example, if you are interested in a game and it has a review embargo, fucking wait. Do not just buy it day one. Wait. Because that is not a good sign. That is the telltale sign of a fucking cash grab. But we're kind of dancing around the issue rather than actually talking about AAA at the moment. What's going on? Well, I feel the need to also provide a bit of an other end of the perspective, because a lot of what I'm going to say is just generally negative. What I am saying is negative, but we need to point out that there have been good AAA games. The Spider-Man games are widely, positively regarded. People really like Spider-Man games. God of War, Ragnarok and the one that came before, which I think was just called God of War. People love those games. Ghost of Tsushima, I believe, was AAA, or is AAA, and that game's fucking phenomenal. I adore that game. I don't know where the fuck Baldur's Gate sits. It's not indie. It's too big to be indie, per se. But Baldur's Gate 3 was fantastic. I don't know. I don't think that's AAA. I don't think that counts. But yeah, no, God of War, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima. I don't like Assassin's Creed, but apparently Ragnarok was really good and people liked that. So it's not that AAA just consistently puts out garbage. It's the fact that it's the volume of garbage. It's the volume of garbage that keeps coming out, combined with the fact that they have all the money and resources and influence and reach. They have the possibility to make some of the best fucking games we've ever seen, and have those games be seen so they don't just fade into obscurity and never see the light of day, but the greater world can actually see them and appreciate them and give the game the support it needs financially and in terms of overall fan support to get sequels or spin-offs or just generally become franchises and stuff with beloved characters, interesting settings, fantastic gameplay. They have the ability. I should also mention Starfield was positively received, and that's AAA as well. They have the ability to put this shit out, and they fucking don't. They could. Those devs working on those games could do that. I fully believe in them. I know they could, but they don't. Not the devs don't do it, not because they can't, but because they're not allowed. Because that's not what they're told to do. Because they've got to earn a fucking wage so they can eat. And the suits don't fucking care. Yeah, we could try and do that, but it's a bit of a risk. It's a bit of a gamble. If it doesn't pay out, then we don't get as much money as we would if we just put out some schlock, advertise it well enough, and just reap the money from it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023 may be shit and may be an absolute insult to everyone who bought it, but you know the next Call of Duty will do just fine. It'll sell. It'll definitely sell. It'll do great. It's established itself, and that's part of the problem. That's another insidious thing. They can create these franchises with what great characters and established settings and great gameplay and all that, and then run them into the ground. Even when they do something good, they will make it bad. The Sims used to be beloved. What the fuck happened to that? Well, EA. Unfair to say maybe EA happens to that because it came from EA, but EA happens to it. It's fucking not good. It's not good. Remember when CD Projekt Red was like everyone's beloved in terms of a AAA game dev? Remember that? And then do you remember Cyberpunk when it came out? Cyberpunk is good now apparently, and I'm really glad for that because I personally really like Cyberpunk. I think it's a great game. I love the characters, I love the setting, I love the gameplay, I love how you can customize your character with cybernetics and skills, and apparently that's all been improved. Apparently the DLC is pretty fucking good, and that's all fantastic. But I refuse, personally, it's a deep-seated grudge I have with the entire AAA industry, and I'm a grudgin'. I refuse to let it go when a game is released poorly, when a game is released like shit. I refuse to let that die. I cannot let that die. I just can't. I hate the idea of them releasing such a shoddy product, which is such a spit in the face of its customers, of its consumers, of its fan base, and thinking that, well, if I just fix it later, it'll be fine. And the worst part is it works. It works. Case in point, Fallout 76. Not many people remember the release date of Fallout 76. Right? I hear Fallout 76 is good now. I hear it's fun now. I hear people really enjoy themselves in the game now, and it's a genuinely enjoyable online Fallout experience. And that's fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that. It makes me kind of want to play it, actually. Looking at it, hearing about it, I kind of want to go give it a go. But I cannot forget how the absolute clusterfuck that was Fallout 76's release, to the point where I remember when it came out. I didn't buy it. I had just finished working a shift at a factory. I used to work for a window factory. It sucked, and it really damaged my hip, and it got to the point where I couldn't fucking walk properly, and they just kicked me. Once this became apparent, they just kicked me out. I was an agency, so I had very little, employment protection. But I remember finishing another depressing shift at that fucking place, and going to the local, supermarket to just, I don't know, get a drink or something before I went home. And as I was walking through, I saw someone walk past me holding a copy of Fallout 76 in their hand, and I was like, the game's out? Wait, is that out? Or is that... is the shop selling pre-order copies now, or is that actually out? And the next night, I went out with my friends, and I was like, is Fallout 76 out? And they were like, yeah, it's out, and it's not good. And then they showed me some stuff on Facebook, and I was like, whoa, the abysmal release date, the whole issue with the fucking canvas bags, if any of you remember that shit. I can't let this shit go. I cannot. I refuse to let this shit go. I refuse to let them get away with it. Even though they have gotten away with it, and me holding on to these things doesn't make a fucking difference. But I think my biggest gripe with the gaming industry at the moment, the AAA gaming industry, is a combination of rushing and crunching their devs and releasing barely functional garbage that they just fix later. Do you remember Anthem? I wonder how many of you remember Anthem. I remember Anthem. That did not come out well. I didn't even play these games. You know why? Because I don't pre-order shit. The only game I've pre-ordered recently was Baldur's Gate 3, and that is honestly because K-Bub kind of talked me into it. Not that he tried to, but when he gets hyped for games, I get hyped for games, because we have very similar tastes. So if he's way in on something, I'm like, okay, that's probably going to be pretty good. So I then kind of buy in as well. I can't help it. But I don't pre-order, because it's a horrible fucking idea. I don't care what rewards they offer. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Do not give them money before they have shown you what you're paying for, or given you what you've paid for. Never, ever, ever. It is such bad business for us, and it is such good business for them. Never do it. I cannot stress this enough. If you want to support the dev in making the game, fair enough. Fair enough. That is your decision to make with your money, and I presume you accept the risks that come with that decision. You're doing it because you want to support the game's release. Fair enough. More power to you. Best of luck. I hope it turns out well. But if you're just doing it for the sake of it, just so you don't have to pay for it later, or so you get some kind of skin before the game comes, for buying it in a special way for more money, no. Don't get season passes either. Don't give them money for shit they haven't fucking made yet. Do not. Barring those circumstances I mentioned before. They love it. AAA fucking loves it. They see you as such a fucking, not a loser, but they see you as such a patsy, as such a rube, as the most gullible little fuckers ever, that they can get money out of you for shit they haven't even done yet. They love it. And it fully reinforces that mentality of the game doesn't have to be good, it just has to come out. All we have to do is provide a product. Never said we'd provide a good one. There's no law saying we have to provide a good one. It just has to technically fulfill the criteria of what we promised. And they do that. It's just it's so fucking shitty that you kind of don't expect it until you've seen it in action. And then you see it in action and you go, oh, fuck this. Oh, I'm not buying into this. Jesus Christ. Terrible. You know the saying, I'm sure you all do, that you vote with your wallet. Well, you do. I've said before that the suits, the publishers, the executives, they don't see you going on Twitter and saying that the game is shit and you can't believe they released it in this state. You should still fucking say that stuff because someone will read it and it can make a difference. But they don't see that shit. They don't see you getting upset. They don't see the Steam reviews. They don't care about the Steam reviews. Like I said before, the quality of the product does not matter to them. They see the figures. They see the money. So vote with your wallet. If you don't like what they're doing, don't buy their shit. Don't buy it. Don't waste your money. They'll notice when profits start to drop. That's the only time they'll notice. And will they course correct in the right direction? I don't know. I fucking doubt it, actually, to be honest, because you know what those kind of people are like. They don't listen to the people below them. So if the people below them are like, well, they're angry at us because we keep giving them defective products that aren't nearly as good as we hyped them up to be, and maybe we should spend more time working on them, they'll go, nah, it's not that. It must be something else. There must be another way we can cheat the fucking dumbass peasants out of their money. Maybe they won't course correct in the right direction, but it will force them to course correct, which is a step closer. It's at least a chance of being better. And if they course correct in the wrong direction, we'll keep not buying their shit. I don't know. It's up to you what you do with your money. I would never honestly, truthfully, intentionally tell you what to do with your money. But if you don't like what's going on with AAA, then don't invest in it. You know where you should invest? Indie. Put your money in indie. Buy some fucking indie games. They're fucking good. Get Blasphemous. It's fucking brilliant. Buy Fear and Hunger if you want to be traumatized. You know, instead of going to AAA for a horror game, go to indie. They're doing it better. They're doing it cooler. They're doing it more interestingly. If you want some of that, you know, big budget polish, then get Baldur's Gate 3. Larian did a fantastic fucking job. Get that instead. That's not quite indie per se, but it's still something. It's still not AAA. It's still a product that delivered what it said it was going to deliver. Honestly, I was expecting Baldur's Gate 3 to suck. I thought it was going to be a fucking buggy mess, and I'm not saying that game didn't have any bugs on release, but I played it on release, and I came across very few problems, if any. Very, very few. I was shocked. I was absolutely flabbergasted. I was expecting the game to have a lot of problems, and it had, like, almost none. It was amazing. I loved every second of it. Same with Armored Core 6. I was kind of expecting that to be a bit less refined, but that game was fucking polished to like a mirror shine. You could see yourself in your fucking Armored Core's plate. Amazing. Put some money into fucking, if you want like weird experiences, then play fucking Lobotomy Corporation or play Ruiner or indie. Go indie. Don't give fucking AAA your money anymore. They don't fucking deserve it. Is Lies of P considered like AAA? I guess it is. It's a pretty big fuck. Yeah, I'd say that's probably considered AAA. Alright, so Lies of P. Lies of P did pretty fucking well. People are happy with that one. Look, I've got to offer some like back and forth here. If I feel like if I want you guys to take me seriously, I can't just sit on one side of the fence and spout crap from it. I've got to provide, you know, some back and forth statements. Although apparently it comes from NeoWiz. And NeoWiz is a developer publisher with a diverse lineup of indie AAA games. So I guess that blurs the lines a little bit more. But yeah, go buy Lies of P instead if you want a cool game, because apparently that's really good. Go play Skull. The Hero Slayer. Go play that. Fuck it. Whatever. Boot up Binding of Isaac again. It's fucking sick. Just, if you want to play AAA games, if you want to buy AAA, that's fine. Really, it is. It is fine. But unfortunately, you're going to have to do some work in making sure that you're not investing in crap. And whose fault is that? AAA. Because they're relying on you to not do your research. They're relying on you to not look into it. They're relying on you to just buy what they put out without even thinking about it. Consume. You know, you've heard it all before. Consume, obey, etc., etc. Don't think, just buy. Think. Think before you buy. Look at what you're buying. Do a quick Google search and be like, how long's the game? What do people think of it? Don't buy shit on day one. Just don't. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Play Inscription. Instead, whenever you want to buy a AAA game, just play Inscription instead. Go on Casey's mod, play that for a day, and then check back tomorrow and see if it looks any good. And if it looks good, then go for it. But otherwise, go back to Inscription. Play Ultra Kill. Come on, like Ultra Kill. Just play Ultra Kill, right? Fuck. Whenever you're tempted, buy a new AAA release and you don't know if it's good, just play Ultra Kill instead. Just boot up Ultra Kill. Just have a few rounds on that. You'll feel better. You'll fill the time and you'll be happier for it. Fuck me. I think I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. There's no point waxing lyrical on this anymore. I'm just spouting the same shit over and over again. Let me know what you think. Like, what are your thoughts on the AAA industry? I have an extremely low opinion of them right now. And it's funny because I think I've had a low opinion of them for years, but each year I think it's been like, I don't think my opinion of them can get lower, and then it gets lower. And I'm like, undeservingly shocked each time. It's not good. It's not good at all. But let me know what you think, especially in terms of like, you know, rushing the devs, crunching the devs, this pre-order fucking nonsense that this industry has turned into. What do you think? And, you know, put some recommendations for some good indie games in the fucking comments. A, so I can see them, and B, so other people can see them. Through what little, tiny, minuscule influence I have, which is very little, tiny, and minuscule, I understand this. I'm under no illusions to my importance in the overall grand scheme of things. I don't know, let's see if we can just move people a little bit away from AAA for the moment to focus on the devs who are actually doing some fucking work. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Devs who are allowed to do the actual fucking work. Devs who aren't being knuckled to just put out schlock as quickly as they can. And AAA will be forced to pay attention. They'll have to. They'll have to. If their bottom line takes a hit, they'll have to pay attention. No two ways about it. But I'm not a business guy, maybe I'm wrong. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Sion Distance, LOL, Final Legend, Ethrobin, Linky, Xeon Cedar, Bimblewart, Tom King, Majoko Maiman, Adash Sanjeev, Alkia, Honeydew Corporation, Sweet Baby Red, MB Elias, Lord Skullington, Jessicity, Plutonium Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magical, The Frostbite, Monsoon, Swirled, Warmaster Oku, SCP-106A, Namad, and Kenny T800 for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. Of course, none of this will matter once I complete my transformation into a Lich and my undead legions take over the world, because then I'll be in charge of game development and it's all just going to be Total War Warhammer 3 updates, which, by the way, I should really round off this video by mentioning I love Total War Warhammer 3. Creative Assembly are kind of some fucking dickheads. Kind of being some fucking dickheads at the moment, and unfortunately that means I'm not going to get a partnership. Oh no, who fucking cares? If you're a Total Warhammer 3 fan, like me, do not pre-order their DLC and do not buy it on release. Also, Pharaohs is not good. Don't spend your money on it. But whenever they release a DLC, do not pre-order it. Wait till it comes out. Because they are desperate to try and milk every penny out of you that they can. So they will put a massively high pre-order price on it so that they can harvest the people who have the disposable income to just throw at something like that. Do not buy in. Do not buy in. Wait. Just wait. You can just buy it on the day it comes out if you really, really need to experience it straight away, but I would honestly recommend waiting. I don't have all of the Total War Warhammer 3 DLC because some of it I disagree with. I waited to get the most recent one, Shadows of Change, and I only got it because I really like Cathay, but that's irrelevant. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. What happens next time, and there's more stuff to talk about, I'm sure. I'll think of some more things. There might be a double bill of Foreman talks because I'm gonna go do some work and I will be leaving early and getting home late. So these are fairly easy to edit and it helps keep me from, you know, staying up until 2 in the morning to get up at 6 to go to work again. So that might be what happens. Haven't decided yet, but whatever happens, hope I see you there. Doodles, goodbye.